Hello, this is RJB here, and we return with something slightly different from the usual. I have been playing some 1v1 again in the Starcraft world, 1 vs 1 fastest map league, but I've been playing absolutely terrible. My Terran against Zerg is terrible. That's just the only word I can describe it as. So today we're going to look at some matches between Leebokgu and Hydra on the Western fastest map. So maybe I can learn a thing or two and fix my absolutely terrible Terran against Zerg. Because honestly, I am in due need. I really do need to fix my Terran against Zerg. It's terrible. So let's see. Let's first look at the sound settings, because I feel something is slightly off here. Everything should be correct right here. Alright, so Hydra, here on the Terran, and Leebokgu under the name White and Black on the bottom right of the map. On the Zerg. Now the starts for both players are kind of, you know, like the usual stuff. Although, I wouldn't call this the usual stuff, because this is a mech opening here from Hydra, which he copied from Scan. Although Scan now does a slightly different mech opening. Scan does a mech opening where he goes for 8 barracks into gas, because that's a little bit safer against rushes than it is to go for gas depot into a barracks into 2 factories. Because with Scan's build order, where you go for the barrack into the gas and the depot, you will have more marines to defend yourself with, and a bunker as well, but you will only have 1 factory in total. Hydra is risking his early opening a little bit more, but he will have 2 factories, so once those 2 factories finish, he will have 2 vultures to defend himself with. It's a little bit harder to get to that point, because you have less marines, because the marines come out pretty late, but if you get there, you are very, very strong. There's actually not much that can fight into the 2 factories once you have them up and running production. But that's something to look out for. What is he going to do? Also, this might be a pretty big hit there for Leebokgu. That Overlord might sneak out, that Overlord might go down, and it does go down, and losing an Overlord this early into the match really hurts a lot. But I do think he spotted the factories. Now he's moving out with 4 Zerglings in total to kill those 2 Marines and maybe start dealing some damage there in the back. But there is, in fact, he's taking damage there on the Zerglings. 2 Zerglings are gonna go down there for sure. Pretty good micro there from a Hydra as well, trying to get maximum damage down on the Zerglings, but does lose the Marines there in the end. But the Zerglings are on pretty low HP. Lost 2 of them. He won't be able to hit all that much. He won't be able to do that much damage or any damage at all. Hydra bought himself just enough time to prevent those Zerglings from getting into the base and getting those vultures up. But 1 Zergling does make it in. He's going to try to scout to get information, see what Hydra's up to. Hydra's going for a very fast startboard. Very fast startboard. And that should cue Leebokgu in on some small little details of what he should be doing himself. Now the vulture is going to try to sneak. Okay, so that vulture just completely wasted itself. Almost lost the second one as well. He went out just in time. The Sunken would have killed it. The Sunkens would have killed it if it stayed any longer, because 1 more hit from both Sunkens and the Vulture would have died. But losing the Vulture is not that big a deal. I mean, losing it is, of course, worse than not losing it, but it's not that big a deal. So startboard is up. He's getting mines and siege. He's not getting speed. Speed doesn't have that much use on the fastest map, because there's not much of rotating air Vultures going on to harass the proxy bases from the enemy, because there are no proxy bases. So the speed upgrade has less value, because there's less importance on sneaking into a base and harassing the workers with the vultures. It's not really an option. So speed is almost never ever upgraded. It's always mines and siege mode, which are the first 2 options for the Terran. He's getting double command center there in the back. He really wants to get a lot of economy going, while Leebokgu is, I think, somewhat scrambling here in the back. Losing that early Overlord has somewhat forced him to go for a high lotus build order but also because Hydralisks honestly do really great against Vultures and Goliaths and against single, small amounts of tanks. The downside of this build order that Hydra is doing here is the fact that he won't have that many units. He has to micro the best he can to survive against any early aggression from Leebokgu. But I don't think that the early aggression for Leebokgu will pose much of a problem here, because there's some mines here in between that will trigger once he walks over. He doesn't have an overlord here anywhere close where he can't see them, and now Marines are spreading out all over the map to get some extra vision and to deny overlords from getting vision of this dropship flying it. He's also going to try to dropship those Marines over this. Oh no! This is pretty... Alright, this is not as bad as I thought it would be. He sees it. He sees the Vultures in the top side. Vultures are getting caught out. Vultures won't do much at all. The mine there gets taken down as well, so no mine explosion on those Hydras. The Marines did get picked up, but the Marines won't get flown over, so Leebokgu there has a lucky break. But now he first has to clear those mines there on the middle, and he's going to walk right into them. The mines do take down some Hydras, because the Hydras aren't that quick at taking them down, although... Yeah, he lost just... Alright, there's another group going down. He might lose more here. This one doesn't trigger, but a couple here in the front. There's a lot of mines there to take down. All of them are going to trigger for sure. Slowly but surely, the amount of Hydras has whittled down, and he won't be able to break through. Those mines saved Hydra's life, and that's kind of why you go for the mines, just to maybe pick off and kill some units as enemy units move across the map. But more Hydras are on the way, ready to break in through the front door. The tanks haven't finished yet. He's got 2 tanks loaded up into that dropship, so Leebokgu will be able to break through here for sure, because the amount of Hydras is pretty big. And a dropship there is coming in, although he's turning around. He realized that he has to turn around and save his life now, because the Hydras are busting through. Maybe those tanks will be able to unload just in time behind those Marines to siege up and kill the Hydras. Leebokgu is breaking through. He's going to stack up and move forward onto those tanks. He's a little bit too far away from the tanks. The tanks can still shoot, but he doesn't lose the Hydras in the end. But they are on low HP. But he's still pushing forward there, still pushing his advantage, still trying to get something done. There's a tank in the back. Oh, the tank sieges up right next to the bunker. SCVs are running. Oh, the bunker is empty. It's just a Goliath there. But Leebokgu is very slow with sending reinforcements. He's actually not sending any reinforcements at all. Oh no, if he just had sent some reinforcements here, if he just had kept producing Hydralisks, he could have ended the game right here, right now. But instead, it is just going to be some tickling and killing some units, but nothing of actual value. He's not achieving anything of actual value. He slowed Hydra down, but Hydra's economy is so massive with the triple command center that I don't think he slowed him down enough. And he is forced out of the base, actually. Still one Hydralisk there in the base, in the corner. He's going to turn it into a lurker. That might actually be a really smart move that might win him the game. As long as it doesn't get spotted out. As long as it doesn't get spotted out. But there is an engineering bay there on the way on the side, which spots out the Hydra. And Leebokgu feels that he's just going to go for a scout, not going to waste his time with building a lurker and losing the lurker. Getting information itself is also quite useful. Actually, I think he didn't see it. Yeah, alright, he saw it. He saw it. You could see it right there. The SCP there gets vision of the corner. The Hydra was lost. But Leebokgu now on 49 drones. He's got a hive there on the way. A lot of Hydras as well finished there in the front. Getting a lot of hatcheries as well. His macro is going to explode off the charts. Much like Hydras. This is actually one of those games that is very unique. This is something you almost never ever see in a Terran against Zerg on fastest map. You almost never see 2 players go for these 2 build orders. So actually I'm not sure how much I can learn from this. But it's still amusing to watch. To see something so different from the usual. And to see it kind of work for both players. It's kind of working for both players. Neither player has taken massive amounts of damage. Neither player has died. Both players are on track, on schedule, hitting all the timings and markings that I want to hit. Although I do think that Hydra would have wanted to start abusing and attacking Leebokgu much earlier, because his attacks are getting delayed by a lot. We're already at 10 minutes in, and he hasn't been able to land a single blow on Leebokgu. It's actually been Leebokgu who's been pushing Hydra back into his base time and time again. Hydra tried to throw out some nice attacks with some tanks here and there, but always forced to retreat. But he does have that level 1 upgrade there on the tanks. Leebokgu has no upgrades at the moment yet, but he has 2 Evo Chambers getting melee weapon attack for his Zerglings and Ultralisks. He's getting Carapace as well. There is no Spire at all, but he does have a Defiler mount there on finished, and he's going to consume on the way. So I do think he's going to go for Zerglings, Lurkers, and probably some Ultralisks there in the mix as well, but he doesn't have the Ultralisk Cavern yet. He can't afford it yet. It might still take a while before he has it, but he has to gas up on all this first, and that's going to take a while because he's still busy producing an army. He wants to hit fast and early. He doesn't want to give Hydra too much time to get comfortable and get an entirely filled out base with all the units that he needs. Now Hydra has no scans yet, so he doesn't really actually know what Leebokgu is doing, except for that one Valkyrie that flew into his base just earlier. But he has no information no information at all, because he hasn't been scanning. He's getting a scan now though, he's finally getting double scan, but we're already 11 minutes in. And the question is, will he be prepared for this attack that's coming in from Leebokgu? There are a lot of fire bats here that are great against Zerglings, so I do think he'll be able to defend himself quite easily. Also spots out the entire army on the middle now with those Goliaths. A lot of Zerglings here. Pick up. A lot of Zerglings and Lurkers on the middle, going in for the attack. Mines clearing out some Zerglings. There's also fire bats going in hard to clear all those units out there. Scan comes down as well. Fire bats are wreaking havoc, but fire bats do pay for it with their lives, but they took down all of the Zerglings and have taken down most of the units. Now the tanks there in the back firing on the Zerglings. Zerglings crawling forward. Dark Swarm comes down. The Lurkers are not really protected because they need Lurkers alongside them to really start dealing the damage here in the back line. The sieged up tanks are doing just enough, and the fire bats also doing just enough. Although not many tanks are sieged up, most of the tanks are not in siege mode. So actually, Leebokgu is going to push forward here and going to crawl up right in between all those tanks that are under Dark Swarm. He still has the Defiler there in the back. The Defiler consumes the Zergling. He'll throw in another Dark Swarm there a little bit closer, deeper into the base, but he's pushing forward, getting forward, crawling forward, burrowing up right next to the tanks. Tanks are forced to unsiege and retreat. The lights also microing backwards. Great turret happening there, but this looks like Leebokgu does have the upper hand here, as Hydra is forced deeper back into his space. Another unburrow there. He's going for the Defiler. The Defiler's going to go down to the fire bats. That might actually just save. Oh, the fire bats don't get the kill on the Defiler. The Defiler does not have energy there though, so if he gets energy here, he could completely win the game right here, right now. But he has no energy on the Defiler. He tried to push forward, but his entire army goes down, including the Lurkers, because there's simply no Dark Swarm to stop the Lurkers from getting attacked and hit. Dark Swarm there ends. Still going forward for the attack. This is really intense. The game just completely exploded in intensity over the past 30 seconds. Dark Swarm there, he's trying to Dark Swarm, Dex Dark Swarm, there's that no Lurkers there on the scene. The Lurkers are all dead and gone, so this is not going to be too hard for... There's too many Zerglings. But as soon as they reach the tanks, there's no longer a Dark Swarm to protect them against those unsieged tanks, so they do go down. But they have kept Hydra back for quite a while. Quite an amazing bit of time. More Zerglings keep streaming in. Fire bats there might come in handy once again, though there's simply too many of them. And the Zerglings are entering the... Oh, the Dark Swarm ends just in time. The Dark Swarm ends just in time, and Stacked SCWs also move to the front to start building a wall. There's Lurkers now being morphed on the middle. Leebokgu is getting his Spires now as well for a eventual tech switch from ground, melee into air. Yeah, he's going in, he has to break through that front door first, although Zerglings don't really care about the front door, they're just gonna walk through. So he still has to take it down there. Fire bats behind the wall there, small little bottleneck, and all the Zerglings are just going into the meat grinder. Vessels coming up there from the back to provide detection. No Dark Swarm there for the Lurkers. There is no Defiler at all on the scene, anywhere to be seen. Vessels hanging here in the front, pretty far away, just in case the Defiler wants to crawl up. Hydra can radiate the Defiler all the way out here when it wants a Dark Swarm here. So there's a lot of time here for the Defiler while it is radiated to crawl up and Dark Swarm here. It might even die before it arrives here to swarm. So Leebokgu forced to retreat, forced to pull back, has some lurkers there crawling up to the top side of the map. I do think he has transportation for his overlords, but I think he's going to try to fly them into the base and land there on the command center. But there's a lot of turrets here on the top corner as well, and raids there too. So I'm not sure if that is going to work out at all. So he's preparing a Muledisk bomb here. I think this is a Muledisk bomb. There is a queen on the way as well. He's got 2 queens on the way and more Muledisks. A lot of Scorches as well. I'm going to try to bomb on that command center, take it down with the queen, get an infested command center, and hopefully completely, once and for all, end Hydra's economy. Hydra, though, is not planning on sitting around any longer. He wants to go for the counter push, although his base is still currently pretty small. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 factories. He does have a lot of Stargates, also about 7 of them, but he doesn't have that many factories. So once he loses his army here on the middle, he might be in a lot of trouble because he simply won't be able to rebuild his army all that quick. But the upgrades he has, though, are pretty darn good. 1, 2 on those tanks, 1 armor, 2 weapon, and the raids there in the air have 2 weapon, no armor. But they're also pretty damn strong. But here comes the Muledisk bomb with the, well, no upgrades on the Muledisks yet. But the Muledisks do look pretty damn strong. Gonna try to go straight for the command center. They're splitting up just a little bit to make sure that the radiates don't kill too many Muledisks. Oh, that's a lot of radiates that are coming down on the Muledisks. He's gonna ball them all up. Gonna try to find them all over. Gonna have to put them on the SCVs. He's gonna kill SCVs. The SCVs don't go down. The SCVs are on low HP there though, but in the end, the Muledisks there get taken down really, really fast. The radiates did their job, and the Valkyrie there in the back also took down a lot of them. So that is pretty easily defended. A massive investment there for Leebokgu, but doesn't get the result he wanted. Hydra was prepared. He was using his scans quite well. He has 3 of them, so that's a lot of information he's continuously getting. And he had everything in place to defend himself, but now, Guardians on the way into the middle. There's only 1 Goliath on the vessel. The tanks are in danger of going down. Vessels are moving down from his base. Raids are also there on the scene. There's no Overlord to detect them, but they ran out of cloak energy, so actually they're gonna get taken down by a couple of Scorches. Not all of them go down. Most of them stay alive. The Guardians can take it down really, really fast in the blink of an eye. But what is Leebokgu cooking? What is he cooking up? What is he preparing to break out with? There's 3 tanks on the middle, 2 more, so about 5 tanks in total, a lot of fire bats as well. There's not much there that can defend against his mass melee army that Leebokgu will without a doubt, send out to attack and break into Hydra's base. But look at here, vessels are waiting on the side, ready to strike on those drones. So Leebokgu knows, because he just had 2 Overlords go into that section there and lost the 2 Overlords, so he knows the vessels are hanging there on the top side. But for now, Hydra is doing a pretty good job there with the fire bats against the Zerglings to keep Leebokgu confined into his base. He's adding on a lot of spores here on the top side, just to make sure the vessels can't really get in unpunished. A lot of spores coming down here. He's really investing a lot of money right now into getting completely defensive. Getting a lot of spores, sunkens, and whatever else he needs to defend his economy and his base. He's going full defense. Also using the famous Lurker Swarm defense there in the front to keep those tanks out. Tanks in siege cannot hit the Lurkers under the Dark Swarm. But he's gonna go for the attack, or is he just gonna keep purling up? Looks like he's still purling up. Hydra has been scanning, so he knows the left side of Leebokgu's base is currently unprotected. Starts to use defensive matrix and radiates on his raids. I'm gonna send them into the backline there. Hopefully kill a lot of drones. Will Leebokgu have his drones burned up in time? Or is he gonna feel some pain? Throws them up. He's gonna lose some of his drones on the gas though. That's gonna be annoying. That's gonna be very annoying because now he has to make new drones for his gas. And that's annoying. That's just an annoying process because he doesn't quite exactly know how many drones are on each gas that survived the radiates. But yeah, 48 drones stay alive. He has a lot of hatchery, so he can remake those drones really quickly. He has enough units to break free as well. There's no anti-air in the front at the moment, so the Guardian is just going to break out and clear these tanks out without issue. There are some vessels there, but I don't think they have enough energy to kill all those Guardians with radiates. Valkyries have arrived on the scene though, and the Valkyries are the hard counter to the Guardians. But but the tanks have been killed. There are tanks on the way, they're back at home. But actually, his supply is mostly in vessels and in Valkyries and Wraiths. He doesn't have that many tanks or Goliaths back at home. So even this small Zergling army can take down quite some of these units here. That is, if they don't attack one by one, but as a group. But they attack one by one, so they don't actually achieve all that much. Hydra gonna go for another flyby towards those drones. He's radiating and defensive matrixing. His Valkyries, they're pretty damn tanky, pretty beefy. Gonna once again try to kill those units there in the back. Flies in, gets on top of the... He gets on top there, but doesn't really kill anything at all. Maybe some drones that are on the gas do go down. Yeah, a lot of drones on the gas do go down, but not quite... It's still annoying. It's still very annoying. It slows Leebokgu down a lot. Not enough, because he has a lot of drones still alive. He's got more drones on the way to put them back on the gas. His gas is a little bit low at the moment, but it is working out. He's doing fine. All of Mulisk once again. I think he's going to try to go for a Mulisk bomb again. The first time it didn't quite work. I don't think the second time will work either, unless those Valkyries are mispositioned on the map. And they do seem to be mispositioned at the moment. There is a couple of Valkyries here back at home in the base that can potentially save the day. He's got a command center hovering over his main command center to protect it from getting targeted. Like, I can't click on the command center below it. I just can't click on it. It's there, but I... Oh, I almost had it. I just can't click on it. It's just too hard. Yeah, there's like 2 command centers here, maybe 3 of them. Bottom line is I cannot click on the command center. So the command center might be protected there from the Mulisks. Ooh, another mass drop there coming in with Valkyries in the mix as well. Gonna go for the drones there in the back. Gonna fly straight in. A lot of spores there to protect, but not enough. They are gonna arrive here on the scene. Burrows up his drones. But the tanks are also there on the scene. Gonna try to take them down with a tank shot there. There's no Suntas in the back, so this is gonna be pretty painful. Gets the scan down. Targets the drones. All the drones do go down. A couple drones are still left alive, and now the tanks are wreaking havoc there. But now we have a counter-attack there. Mass Mulis there going in for the attack there. He gets the radiate off, but the radiate doesn't... Oh, the radiate is a little bit too late. He's not gonna get too many of those Mulis killed there. Gonna try to fly in towards that command center, but the command center is untargetable. He's gonna get it. The Valkyries go down. Mulis are now gonna kill the Mulisks. Valkyries gonna kill the Mulisks. He killed the Hive there back at home. Really great move there from Hydra. Yeah, that's all cleared out. That should be the game. Well, it shouldn't. Well, maybe it should. Yeah, that's the game. Leebokgu knows that the game is over. Hydra had some pretty good, precise moves there at the end. For a long time, he was on the defensive. But Leebokgu couldn't quite prepare himself well enough to defend against that air abuse and the drop on his Hive. The drop was really well executed there from Hydra. I wasn't looking at it the entire time because I wanted to look at how the Mulisk bomb was going to work out. The Mulisk bomb didn't work out at all. Again, I really do think that Leebokgu threw the game away at about 6 minutes in when he had the chance to just Hydra bust Hydra with Hydralisks and completely win the game. But he decided to back off and stop producing Hydralisks. Even though Hydra was at its weakest, he had 1 tank, 1 Goliath, nothing else. He had nothing else but those 2 units. And Leebokgu let him live. So it's kind of Leebokgu's own fault for not doubling down on his attack. And giving Hydra a chance to make a comeback and eventually win the game. Pretty good match. Pretty good match. Both players, I'd say they played about evenly there. I'd say they went about toe-to-toe. Quite impressive stuff. So let's see if I can find another game between these two. I just want to do a second one. A bit more studying material. Alright, I found one. I found one. Hydra against Leebokgu. Same races, same matchup, different locations on the map. Leebokgu now on the Zerg again, on the top right of the map, and on the bottom left we've got Hydra on the brown Terran. Let's fast forward the first 2 minutes a little bit. So about the last game, I did think Hydra is going to go for the exact same build. He got there before I could mention it. Leebokgu though, Leebokgu is going for something different. Again. But this time around there's no choke. He's going straight into a somewhat cheese build order. Going for an early pool, early gas, early speed, early Zerglings. Maybe going for early Hydralisk Den into a lurker as well. I don't know yet. But he's going for a rush. Pool finishes, Zerglings are on the way, and very soon he will have 100 gas as well to build that Zergling speed. But Hydra on the other side of the map is going for the mech build order, which might actually be very weak against what Leebokgu has in store. But if it doesn't work, if what Leebokgu is doing doesn't work, this might actually hurt him a lot, because he has a small economy. He's got 7 drones in total, does have a second hatchery on the way there back at home. But that's not that much. He isn't gonna be very rich. He has to keep spamming out Zerglings and find his opponent very fast, very quick, very early, and hopefully deal big damage. Now that Marine there is gonna spot out the Zerglings, but that does give a cue to Leebokgu, where Hydra is located on the map. Leebokgu is gonna ball up his Zerglings, gonna go in for the attack soon. Gonna wait for his Zergling speed first, but I'm sure Leebokgu now knows that Hydra is on the bottom left of the map. Oh yeah, Hydra's gonna get caught out there with his pants down. The factories have finished though, but the Vultures are still pretty far away. Still gonna take some time before they finish. So Hydra forced to unstack his SCVs and go for the attack there on the Zerglings to defend himself. Zerglings are getting on top of the Marines, but the Marines are getting microed pretty well. The Marines are staying alive because SCV's dying there in the back. Pretty good control, pretty good target focusing, but now the Vultures have finished, and now it's gonna be, can Hydra defend himself with the micro, or will Leebokgu simply fall short? Almost gets the surround there on the Vulture. The micro here is a little bit rusty from Hydra, but in the end, he does come out on top and forces those Zerglings back. Now this is pretty much the worst case scenario for Leebokgu. If Hydra had been right next to him, Hydra would be dead. Very dead. But the distance in between these two players really saved Hydra's ass. Zergling's still gonna try to attack and harass, gets an SCV there on the top side as well, gonna try to get us around on the Vulture, but no, he pulls back, gonna try to run all the way around, try to get on those SCVs there in the back to kill and reduce that difference in worker count. Get on top of the SCVs, kills 1 or 2, he's gonna, how many is he gonna get? That's 2, get number 3, doesn't get number 3, so now it's 9 Zerglings, 9 drones against 16 drones, but there are some Vultures here on the middle of the map, microing in that choke point, and it does look like he's going to come out on top because it's just so easy to micro Vultures against Zerglings. It's so difficult to catch those Vultures with your Zerglings. It's very difficult to do. There's a Sunken there in the back though, so the Vultures can't go in to beat up some of those drones. And the drone there does catch the Vulture. Great job there. More Vultures there on the way. Also raids on the way for Hydra. The Starcraft is finished on the bottom side. I'm going to try to snipe some Overlords. He has Goliaths on the way as well. And level 1 tank or mag damage also on the way. Vultures there. Yeah, Vultures getting scared away for a little bit. The Vultures don't really do much damage at all. They don't do much damage at all. There's a Hydra's Den there on the way for Hydras, of course. Because Leebokgu pretty much has only one option. That's Hydras. He needs to get Hydras if he wants to defend himself against this abuse here. Vultures kind of suck against Hydras. Hydras are kind of good against Goliaths and Vultures. So Hydra really has to get tanks. He really needs tanks. Oh, great mine there. A really great mine pop there from Hydra. Really great move to put the mine there next to the X. But the mines in the end do go down before they get any more kills. But more Marines and Goliaths have now arrived on the scene. The raid goes down, but now Marines are fighting against Hydra without their upgrades. Oh no, the Overlord's gonna go down. That's gonna supply stock him into next week, and that's gonna be hurtful because now he cannot make any more Hydras. He has to wait for Overlords to finish. But Leebokgu is holding out there pretty well. But Hydra is the person who is in the driver's seat. 2 factories, 1 starport. Hasn't really done much with what he has at the moment. I really do think he has to get tanks really fast, but he's still going... He is getting siege mode, but doesn't have a tank in production yet. He's still making Goliaths at the moment. No tanks are on the way yet. Still trying to harass the raid, trying to kill some Overlords, trying to kill some drones, but doesn't really get much done. But at least it is annoying Leebokgu. It is keeping his Hydras back at home, because he has no anti-air except those Hydras, so he cannot attack or harass or try to do anything with the Hydras as long as that raid there is flying about. 2 raids in fact flying about. There's range on the Hydras, I think. No speed. Speed is still on the way. While the raid gets taken down, they die really fast against Hydras. They die really fast. Lair there being morphed. Raid there on the side. Leebokgu looking to go for an attack. He's moving across the middle of the map. There are some mines in between. The mines are getting placed here as well in a choke by Hydra. Starport gets lifted up, gonna get relocated somewhere else. Now 3 factories adding on barracks as well. Science facility are also on the way. Hydra's on the top side, gonna protect that Overlord because the raid is hammering away at it. Raid goes down in a single hit. Pretty tight game so far. Not really orthodox by any metrics. Like, this is very unorthodox stuff. This is stuff you don't really expect to see, but it's a lot of fun to watch because it's different. It's action-packed. There's a lot of stuff going on. And Leebokgu is honestly doing really well. Now in 37 drones, he's droning up really hard, going for a hive. He's getting bigger and bigger. Both their worker counts are actually almost the same. But the science facility for Hydra has finished. He's got 3 factories at the moment. He cannot move out yet because 3 factories is not that much. Doesn't have that many units either. But once he gets a vessel, the game might get really nice here for Hydra. Because the vessel will open up so many options for him. You can go for radiates on drones. You can go for detection on... Oh, Overlord there, getting information. He sees everything. Sees everything there in the back. So he might actually adapt to this. But will he be in time? Will he be in time? There's currently a small supply difference. Vessel is on the way. Wait, Vessel's not on the way. False news. Fake news. He's mostly focusing on just macroing up. He's being very defensive once again. He fears that he might get counter-attacked if he moves out. Which is true. If he moves out now, he might actually die by getting surrounded by Hydras. So defending here is a good move. But he's also giving his opponent a lot of time to get massive. A lot of time to get really massive. And for as long as these Hydras don't see any units moving out of the base, Leebokgu knows he's safe. Knows he can macro up, get hatcheries, get all the tech he needs, and he's actually in a pretty good spot here as he's got the Creator Spider on the way, the Fire Mount on the way, Lurker Aspect finished, Hydra Range on the way as well. Got pretty much everything he needs. Burrow as well on the way. Raid once again moves out. Supply counts are, there's about 20 difference, but I'd say Leebokgu is in a better spot at the moment because he simply has more production than Hydra. Hydra has 3 starports, 3 factories, soon 4 factories, but that is not that much. That's not that much. It's actually almost nothing. It's going to be difficult. Can Hydra wrestle himself through the next couple of minutes, or will Leebokgu be too big? Because that's a lot of hatcheries. That's 7 and 4 extra for a total of 11. 2 there in the back as well. 13, 14 hatcheries already. The only problem Leebokgu has right now is he needs some Overlords, but those are on the way. Consume is also on the way. Defiler is soon in the mix as well. Hydra is still gonna try to be annoying with the raids. Keep sending them out across the map to get information, but to also kill overlords on the sides, just to be a general annoyance, a thorn in his side, but one that doesn't really sting too much. It's more like it's minorly inconvenient. Barely inconvenient. So he's macroing up really well. Both players are macroing up really well. Valkyrie's there popping out for Hydra, adding on even more factors, got 6 of them in total now. And he's moving out. He's moving out for the attack. He believes he's got what it takes to push Leebokgu back into the corner to end his life once and for all, to get himself a strong foothold there. But he's running into lurkers on the middle. The lurkers gonna kill some tanks. Oh no! Oh, the scan came out just in time. The tanks do go down. Yeah, he killed more than he should have. There's no Vessel at the moment for Hydra at all. There's actually no Vessel at all. He's relying on his double scan there in the back to provide him vision and detection, but that might actually come back to haunt him. There's a massive army here with Defilers, Lurkers, Pilots, and Zerglings, all with upgrades and whatever you want. And it's going out for the attack, and there's nothing here to stop this attack from happening as the Dark Swarms are going to come down. Lurkers burning up into the Dark Swarms. Tanks are in the striking danger zone. Marines all get taken down, bursted down within the blink of an eye. Zerglings on top of tanks. Tanks are retreating back to home, back to base, and the Zergling Swarm is encroaching across the map, ready to break through this choke point here and punish Hydra for his mistake. To punish him for his mistake. And a big mistake it was, because his entire army is gone. He still have a small, tiny army here back home, but the units are coming and swarming in through that front door. It is almost completely wide open and almost unprotected. There's not much here in the front. Daniel's seizing up there trying to save today, but Zergs are coming in as well, and Hydras as well. Dark Swarm will come down very soon as well. Zerg's getting on top of the bunker, on top of the tanks. Fire bats are spawning as well, trying to clear the Zerg, but the Zergs are simply too great in number. Lurkers crawling into the Dark Swarm there from behind. Hydras are getting on top of the tanks, and as well, this might get brutal. This might get bloody. The game might end here, right here and now. He's trying to save the day by radiating the Defiler, but there's so many Zerglings now inside the base here. It is literally swarming. This is the essence of the Zerg. A swarm of Zerglings and Hydras coming in to attack and snack and take everything down that they can. And this might simply be too much for Hydra to cope with, to deal with, to handle. Who would have thought that at the start of this game, when we saw Leebokgu fail his Zergling build order, that this would be the end result? I didn't. I really didn't. I really didn't think he had a chance. But somehow he has managed to stay alive and to even win the game in 13 minutes or so, because there's just no way that Hydra can survive this one. This is ending, and it's ending soon. There it is. It says he drops the XD. He knows he fucked up. He knows he played this one really bad, and he kind of did. I mean, he still played well, but he completely misread the situation and made a giant, enormous mistake. And got punished for it, and rightfully so. Really well played game there from Leebokgu against Hydra. Wins the game. This massive stream of Zerglings coming across the map. Beautiful to behold. And now I'm gonna have to find a thumbnail. But first, that's it for today. That's it for the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you liked these two games from the Western map, from the Starcraft world. 1 vs 1 league. From season number 22 or 23. 22. From season 22. Hope you learned something about TVZ. I saw some really cool stuff happening there that I'm going to employ in my own gameplay. Switch up my style a little bit. I learned some things. I enjoyed myself as well. So yeah, come back for another video soon, whenever you feel like it, whenever you want to. Leave a like, leave a subscribe, leave a comment. This apparently that helps get the video more visibility, or so I have been told. Not sure if it does. I have no idea how the YouTube algorithm works. I'm not sure anyone actually knows how it works. It's complete random at times, I feel, but you know, it does its thing. Thank you for watching. It's RGB for RGB TV, and goodbye.